Welcome to the Refined Strength podcast. We have a SQUADcast for you today with all three of our amazing coaches, Jessica Best and Daraja Weidemoyer.
Hey, finally.
Yay.
Finally, yes.
Everybody loves the SQUADcast.
We have not been on a podcast, all three of us, since before the retreat, which was at the end of April.
Yeah.
Because life has been
lifing
pretty hard.
Yeah. It's been like very busy with like adulting stuff, but like clients and national shows ramping up and Rach, you traveling a lot and
you just got back from Universe, right?
Yeah, I just got back from Universe. I was there with Issa, who also did Junior Nats, and it was a really good trip. Like, I'm really happy that I went. It was definitely a lot, and I'd say I probably could have done better taking care of myself during the trip in terms of like I kind of just like booked the worst flights possible.
Girl, when you told me what your schedule was, I was like, what was she thinking?
Well, I booked the flight Saturday morning to come home as like early in the morning so I could just get home and have a weekend.
Which I totally understand that. Like, you just want to be,
I just wanted to be home, hang out with Austin, and like we went to see a movie Saturday night, so it was nice. But like I literally got off, like Issa got off stage around like 9:15 p.m. Friday, and then
which not bad for a national show. Not bad.
Right.
I mean, it was only women that day. It was only bikinis, wellness, and fit model. So
nice.
Yeah, she got off stage, and then we waited for feedback, got feedback, and then we like went out to dinner, and we were at dinner for like a couple hours, like all encompassing that with her mom, and then we went to a club, which I've not been to a club in a long time, but I was
wow.
Whose idea was that? I'm so curious.
It was hers. It wasn't like a nightclub, like a crazy club. It was a place called Made in Puerto Rico, and yeah, she just wanted to go out and like have a good time. So we had some drinks, and had 3 drinks total that night, and I
would be drunk.
Yeah, me too.
I took a 20-minute nap, and then I went to the airport.
Oh God!
Slept on the plane, and then got home and built a bicycle, and.
And you got your bike.
We went to a movie.
Okay. All of those activities sound like a lot of fun, just like maybe with a little bit more rest in between.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Is it better if I sit this? Like, should I just sit it here? Is that fine?
Yeah, I think it's
okay. Fine. I just get worried you can't hear me. Obviously.
Oh no,
it's fine.
You're good.
Okay. Sorry, everyone, if you're listening and I was screaming at you.
You guys, tell me an update from the last weekend or week.
Well, it's July 7th, so we just had July 4th.
Oh, yeah.
Weekend. I got invited to go to Lake Texoma, which is the lake that is on the border of Oklahoma and Texas, with a friend who lives in Houston, because now I have Houston friends, which is exciting. I have one Houston friend. Yeah, but I have never actually celebrated 4th of July with Americans. It's always been Canadians in Houston.
That's crazy that Canadians celebrate 4th of July to me.
Oh, no. This was our friends who are Canadian who also live in Houston. We celebrated with them the last like 2 4th of Julys. Thank you for that clarification. When I lived in Canada, we did not celebrate 4th of July. We have Canada Day, which is lame. Sorry.
It's not. Yeah, I mean, 4th of July is so American that it can be pretty fun for sure.
Yeah. It's not the same. And yeah, it was super fun. We had fireworks, we had like sparklers, and like it was my friend's parents' like lake property, and so it was all decorated, and we went to like this island every day and just like sat in the sun. So like that was fun, but also a lot on my body because I am fair. And I get heat rash really easily. But it was a lot of fun. So yeah, that's what I did 4th of July. But then before that, it was just coaching, and I was just in Dallas. You were here, Rachel. We've seen each other a whole bunch. Yeah, it's been a lot.
I wish Colorado were closer. We would totally all hang out a lot more.
Yes. I know, because like Colorado is pretty fun, and it's not as like it's not as humid as Texas, and it's like cooler in the morning and cools down at night, which is nice. I'm like still really enjoying that because coming from Florida, like you wake up at like 7 a.m. and it's like 100 degrees outside already.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But our 4th of July, I was really just like hoping that my baby didn't wake up from the fireworks because she goes to bed before the sun goes down. And so I was like, please no. Because
How'd
that's
she do?
also, I'm like, I look forward to her bedtime now because like that's like my time to just like unwind a little bit.
What time does she go to bed? Like,
She goes to bed around like 7:30. Yeah,
is
at
she
the
sleeping
latest
through
8
the night a
o'clock.
little bit more?
What?
Is she sleeping a little bit more, like through the night?
She is. She's definitely like in that 7-month sleep regression. So like for the moms out there who totally know what that looks and feels like, it's not as bad as the 4-month regression. I will say that the 4-month regression was rough, but this one, she kind of just wakes up, like she'll have her little 2.5 to 3 hour like sleep stretch, and then she'll be like, "Cool, like let's party," and I'm like, "No, no, let's go back to sleep." Because she's also learning like how to. Well, she's gotten really good at like flipping over now from her back to her stomach. So she's like, I love this. So let's do it all the time. And she likes to try to practice crawling up on top of me. So yeah, all super cute, fun things, just like not trying to go to sleep. And our dogs also don't like fireworks at all. So keeping them calm, luckily, like we have trazodone, I think is it's called. So we give that to them, and they were, for the most part, pretty chill, thank God. So yeah, 4th of July is typically kind of stressful for me just because our dogs kind of freak out. But other than that, I'm just kind of like doing mom things, being a mom, watching my baby grow really, really fast.
Yeah, she looks huge.
Yeah, she's definitely like big. Like
How
what?
heavy is she now? Or like how
She's
much weight
definitely
is she
over
putting
20
on?
pounds. She's probably between like 22 to 24 if I had to guess.
How
But
much was she in April during the retreat? Do you remember?
she was probably, that was right before her 6-month checkup, so like maybe 14 to 15
Dang.
pounds. Yeah. She's packing on some size. Our
Dang.
pediatrician was like, "Are you like, how much are you feeding her?"
When I messaged you, I was like, she's got those Olympian genes.
Yeah, she was like, "Is she still nursing at night?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, maybe we can like, we don't have to do that anymore." And I was like, "Good fucking luck." That's just that's what we do. So, yeah, I think I told you this, Rachel, but like some lady was like, "Yeah, my 11-month-old is the same size as your 7-month-old baby." And I was like, "Okay, cool." I
Like,
will
my
get
baby's
her.
a bodybuilder.
Yeah. She's big. I'm proud of though, because I'm like, that's all my breast milk. So I'm like, I have really good breast milk apparently.
Now everyone knows.
Yeah. All that protein I've been eating all these years.
If you
Totally
want
paying
good
off.
size, I bet you could sell that.
I was gonna
Probably.
say, like, if you're selling it, we can advertise it right here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyone
here,
want to buy Josh's breast milk?
follow
You
my black
know,
market link.
the link in bio.
Nope. Oh my God.
Code refined
Yeah,
for
I mean, my
Daraja's breast
freezer is full of it. So if you want some, hit me up.
Oh my God, I'm dead.
But yeah, super uneventful, honestly, other than just, yeah, trying to soak up all the mom things. So, yeah.
Well, I'm excited to talk since we haven't talked since the retreat. Excited to just talk about like the retreat and what we got from it because it was quite like it was a crazy weekend. For those of you listening, if you followed along or if you don't, we had our first ever full refined retreat. I had my first retreat when it was just me back last year in 2024, and I had like 15 athletes, and some of them were local, some of them came from out of state, spent time bonding, team stuff, training, posing, but it was really just me and then my friends here that helped out with the retreat. But then this year we had both of you guys and your athletes, and we had I think like a total of 65 athletes come out,
Which is crazy.
and yeah.
Wow.
And so like I don't keep like a running tally of like how many athletes we have total on the team, but I think it was about like half of our athletes that came out total. So
I mean, for me, it was the most that I had ever had come out to a team event like that, which was really,
me
really
too.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it just like the reason I wanted to talk about it is because so much of the time, people get into bodybuilding or people hear things that people talk about bodybuilding and they think that it's just a very lonely sport and it's very like lone wolf type Lone Ranger sport where it's just you versus you. You're not working together on a team to achieve a goal like other sports, but it is a sport and it does take a village in terms of like being successful, I think.
Yeah.
And there's also like different definitions and different values that different teams will have too. And so I just wanted to like kind of talk about that, reflect on the retreat and how we've built the culture that we have at Refined Strength, because it is really special and unique.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I feel like too, like just to kind of add to that point, I think what I've noticed is the athletes that don't appreciate the importance of that and having that community to lean on when you need them, it like they don't last as long. They don't enjoy it as much because they feel like it's that very just like lone wolf. It's just me versus me, and like they kind of shut everybody else out, and that like really sucks. So
Yeah.
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 Well, like humans thrive in a group setting,
Yep.
right? Like historically, like, yeah, okay, like the men would go out and like hunt and women would stay, but like you have a community, like you have a group of people who are all kind of focused on a like unified goal, and you can lean on others to like do other things, but you also like lean on the group as a whole to just support everybody to function properly, like physically, but like mentally too, right? And to understand what other people are going through is the same thing that you're going through. I think that that's what a lot of I can really only speak from like my athletes who went there and then they talked to me about it, but I think a lot of my athletes just saw that there are a lot of other people who are experiencing exactly the same thing as they are, because some people were local to Texas, but a lot of people came from like I had a client from California come in, right? And that's a far ways away. And so for a lot of those athletes who are not really in a bodybuilding state like Texas, this was a big jump for them because they might be like the only bodybuilder in like that they really know.
Yeah.
And so this was that chance to be like, wow, I actually have other people that are going through an uncomfortable off season of just putting on body fat and, you know, like not feeling necessarily as confident in my skin. Oh, but all of these other women are putting on bathing suits and they're in their off season and they're getting up there and posing. That means that I can do that too.
Yeah.
And I've also found a lot of my clients now like tagging each other in their stories and inspiring each other to like wear one pieces in the gym because so and so did it, and so that means that I can do it too.
Yay.
And that kind of thing. Like I've found just a community of just supporting each other and building each other's light, or just like just because I want a crown but you have a crown doesn't mean that like I can't have a crown too. Like that kind of like whole women supporting women. And it's not just women, but majority of women were there. There was like one male client there, right? Two? Sorry.
Zane and Bo.
Right.
Both my clients. But yeah.
But that's what I've seen just from my clients. But from a Refined Strength standpoint, I have honestly never experienced a retreat, like get together team, whatever it is. I've gone to many as an athlete myself, but also with my previous company that we've worked with. And this was just very, very different. This was more like built from our values of we want to have our clients like leave us in a better spot, not just physically, but mentally, and, you know, make bodybuilding a better place for everyone. It was very just like nurturing, like mentally for a lot of my athletes. That's what I saw.
Yeah, I think the thing you hit on about just like people feeling less alone when they were going into it, like I can't tell you how many people, both like my clients, but also some of your guys' clients that came up to me during the retreat that told me like they went in thinking that this was way outside my comfort zone. I'm not really that social, or I've just never done anything like this, because they might be the only bodybuilder that they know in their town, or they're just like not as social or whatever it is. And they came into this event with still leaning in because that's what they're taught to do by all of us. And that's like a big value of all of us is leaning into discomfort, because that's where we grow, is outside of our comfort zone. And yeah, what they found is that community, and that you can actually be better with the community, and really leaning into that community doesn't mean that those people in your community are going to do the work for you. Like that's not a part of it, but they help make the work more fun, and they help make it more sustainable too. Because if you have someone that you can connect with, even if it's just one person and they're across the country and you just talk to them via DMs or texting or whatever, that's still connection, and that's connection in our world today anyway. And so if we have that ability, why not utilize it?
Yeah.
And so that's what this event was all about, is like, yes, we're all remote. We remote coach. We're not personal trainers. We don't have that like in-person community that we get to touch on all the time, but we get it every once in a while, and we can make more of it. And we can also just foster the community to like keep in touch with each other as we go. And yeah, that outside of my comfort zone, then now it's in their comfort zone. So now a lot of these people that came to the retreat this year, they'll probably go to the next retreat, or a lot of them will, or they'll, I have people that want to stay in touch and like make trips to visit each other. And like now all of those people have people that they know in other cities that they get to now like have as someone to be like, hey, I'm going to be in your city. Like, let's hang out. Let's catch a lift. Let's do this or that, or let's go to someone's show or something.
My client went to one of DJ's client shows, and they're like besties now.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was at that show. It was so cool.
It was so awesome. Yeah. It was so awesome. Yeah, I will say, like, I don't know if they had known each other much before, but I think obviously being there and like getting a chance to spend that time together, like, definitely helped build more of their relationship. Because I remember she definitely, like, her being there, and then obviously Rachel being there, but she, I think, was there, like, I think she might have stayed with Maddie.
Yeah.
And
they all stayed in Airbnb.
Yeah. And so that was just like, that was really, really nice, because obviously as coaches, we would love to be at every client show so that they obviously to have that like eye on them and to like be as hands-on as we want to be with everybody, but to also just have that energy and that support that is sometimes really nice to have on show day, because it can be very stimulating and stressful and chaotic. And so to have at least one person that you're like, you can ask or lean on, like, hey, can you help me with my tan? Or does my makeup look okay? Or like, can you help me, whatever it is. Even just like, just being there, being present, is nice. I think one of the things I really, really loved hearing, and even just seeing in a couple of the clients that I had go, was a shift in, I think, their outlook or perspective on the process. Like, I have a client who right now it's been a bit of coaxing and work to kind of get her to truly understand the importance of the amount of focus you need in an off season to truly optimize it. Like, yes, you can say, okay, I'm going to eat the food and I'm going to go get my workouts in, but like, how intentional are you being in that? And I think for her, being around other athletes who she sees training as hard as they are, everyone's with their Tupperware, right? Everyone's like being mindful of their food, even though, yes, it's probably an environment where a lot of us who aren't on prep can be more relaxed. She was really on top of meal prepping her stuff while she was there, because everybody was in the kitchen doing the same thing, right? It was like just that thing that kind of helped her realize, like, okay, yeah, this is normal, so to speak. And then even just in her check-ins, I noticed a major shift. And like, I didn't outright say it at first, but I like for her to tell me, like, hey, what was the biggest change, or what prompted this shift in you? I've noticed you're just more enthusiastic about the process now. You seem more excited, and we do want to get back on stage next year, but I've had a hard time kind of like being in for that with her, because I know that she doesn't give as much as I know she can give in an off season. And she was like, honestly, like being around the team and seeing other people train hard, prep their food, get groceries for the retreat, bring it back to the Airbnb, and like just be on it, but still enjoying their life, and like it actually removes stress. That was another thing that she told me. She was like, wow, she was like, wow, just having my food with me and prepping it and having it ready to go, like, really relieves stress. I was like, yeah, girl. I've been trying to tell you that.
Sometimes athletes need to like experience that for themselves.
Yes.
Even though they've been told like fucking 10 times.
Yes. And like, honestly, I didn't even say like, I've said that before. I was like, yes, like, let's run with that.
Yeah. But it's almost like seeing other people be locked in makes you want to lock in more.
And elevate. Like, oh,
that looks super manageable. Like the way that so-and-so is just doing that, or the way that so-and-so is training. Like, wow, that's really just like manageable, or like, wow, that's hard, but like, is it really that hard?
But it's also inspiring too. Like, also think like once
Absolutely.
you're out of your comfort zone, especially if you train alone, typically you get kind of used to the sensation of, okay, I pushed just about hard enough, but I could push harder. When you see other people really pushing kind of past what you feel like your bar is, you're like, oh shit, I can set the bar higher. And that I think was also one of the wake up calls for her. And like, she's been sending me videos, she's been training harder, she's been hitting PRs. I'm like, yes, queen, like this is what I wanted. Like the spark is lit now, and we've mapped out the rest of this year going into next year, and we're planning to start prep. And I'm like, this is exciting. I'm excited to
How
talk
it should
about
be.
this now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I definitely I saw that's one thing I was really excited about in terms of the training aspect is
Yeah.
just people really seeing, because everyone was at different levels
Yeah.
of their journey, right? I had one athlete that was like 1 week post show, and then I had some athletes like deep into an off season. I had some that like they send their videos every week so they know what type of intensity they need, and then some people who like maybe do that, but they kind of like don't always push themselves as much as I ask them to. And then they get, me spotting them and forced rep and like telling them that they have more in them.
Which, like, hell
And then they're
yeah.
like, oh, I did 10 more reps than I usually do with that weight. I guess I can push harder.
Gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I made Andrea do like 20 reps on her hack squat.
But and what I loved about like the training aspect, specifically that as well, like for sure, the oh shit, I can definitely do more than I thought that I was doing. And I think that like that was a big aspect of it. But also like when you were doing that with Andrea on the hack squat, literally everyone in the gym, like it was, I think it was just Refined Strength in the gym at that time. Doesn't matter, whatever. The majority of the gym like stopped what they were doing and started just cheering her on. And I had an athlete actually on the same hack squat, and I was like, you're going to come to me when you're ready for your top set and we're going to do it together. And she looked at me like, I don't think her eyes have ever been wider. She was like, okay. And I was like, you're good. Just come find me and I'm going to be there and I'm going to help you. And I definitely just, I was like, again, one more. And I don't know who was behind us, but just like everybody started cheering.
Yeah.
Right. And the same thing happened for Andrea and my one athlete who, like that situation happened for her and they were cheering her. She broke down in just like tears, but of just gratitude afterwards. She was like, wow, I've never been challenged like that. But the amount of support that I felt in that moment, I've never felt that support. And I've never been able to be that vulnerable, but then also have people there just cheering me on and supporting me regardless of how I am showing up. And like that piece of training to push yourself to that scary place, it is really scary. Just like the like traveling across the country and being outside of your comfort zone. Like I think a lot of that training portion is just in your head of like fear. It's scary. And
it's also like, I think a lot of athletes, especially I see this in bikini girls, but even figure and wellness, like other bigger divisions, is that they don't think they deserve to train as hard as they should.
Yeah.
And or as hard as they see others train. So someone who needs to grow might look at how a figure girl who also needs to grow trains, like bikini girl looking at the figure girl. And they might say like, well, I don't really need to go that hard because I'm not trying to be as big as her. But like, guess what? You're not going to accidentally get as big as her. It's not going to happen. You have to be as big as you need to be for your frame. And guess what? You're not there yet.
Yeah.
And so how do you expect yourself to get there if you're not going to push yourself?
Which
so I think it's also that deserving thing is like, I don't know if I'm meant to train like that, but then you get schooled and you understand like, oh, that's how I'm going to grow.
I can actually, part of me is appreciative of this like part of my journey because I can now obviously empathize with people in that mindset. Obviously, I trained for bikini. I was a bikini pro, am a bikini pro because I'm gonna be back on that stage. But my training over the years has evolved. Once I really had the mass that I needed for my division, my training had to change. I can't just go keep training the same way because I would eventually outgrow bikini. I don't know if I would ever naturally just get as big as figure by just training the way that I would have trained in the past, but I would have definitely outgrown bikini. My
gotten
upper body grows like
unbalanced.
a weed.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be as balanced. And so I've had to adjust. And after having my baby, obviously there is some muscle loss and some volume lost because of just, it's a very
You grew a
catabolic
human.
process having a baby. But now I have to almost like relearn what that training is supposed to feel like now, because I do have a good amount of size to put back on. And so getting comfortable with that again has been kind of weird, because I'm used to like mentally limiting myself in, okay, this is about as hard as I can go, and like stopping when I feel like such and such. But now I can push past that. And so it's, again, I'm grateful for that experience, because now I can like actually understand, okay, what that feels like. But I'm also really excited because I've missed training that hard. It's been a long time. So, but yeah, it's also just to say, like, if you're watching this, you can obviously see me, but me just being back in the gym for 5 minutes postpartum, I didn't just accidentally get too big again. Like, it's going to take some time.
Yeah.
When I had it once, and even having it once and having to try to get it back, I feel like women are still so afraid to train hard because they're like, I don't want to get too big. Like, it just doesn't happen like that. So
You have to actually get to the point of getting too big before you should start backing off, because it's pretty easy to, like, once you get to that point, okay, now I realize like I'm starting to get a little too full here, or too big, or I'm just looking a little unbalanced. So now is the time. It's a simple switch in your training that you need to do. And then it's easy, because you can just maintain that thing that maybe pushed limits a little bit and just go a little harder in the area that you need to keep pushing at.
So that was cool little reflection there. But I will say, one of the other cool things of me being there, it was obviously my first time. It was actually my first time traveling with Azalea. So that was scary. Mom can like definitely relate to that. I was like looking up all the things, asking all my mom friends, like, hey, what are some tips for traveling with an infant? And it went really well. She did really good. She adjusted and acclimated. Awesome. Yeah, she was a little rock star. And just being there with her, I knew, and I had talked to you guys about this, but like, I was so worried about not being able to show up the way that I have in events like this in the past. And like, obviously posing is like my bread and butter. And so I also wanted to be present and part of everything, but I also had to set my boundaries when it came to like her nap time, people being like close to her, touching to her, because she's also like a little sensitive, and also like germs. But I was super, super self-conscious about how I was going to be perceived, and almost not being enough. Like, I knew that I wouldn't be able to give the same to everybody like I normally do, because I have my baby to take care of. And like, I'm so grateful for you guys, because obviously you guys don't have kids. It's not like in your life plan, but to like hear you guys just be very supportive and say like, dude, like you're doing plenty just by being here, like, is obviously also like just something I need to work on for me. But having other moms there, like, and being able to relate to them, some of the clients of ours that were there who like also have children or small kids, it was just really nice to like feel normal in that part of my journey, which relates to other people feeling normal in their own part of their journey, being able to relate to other people on the same page. So it was like just a really cool experience for me, and also just like an experience that I got to grow a lot from, and just gain my confidence as a mom too, which was not expected.
It was cool for me to like see you as a mom. But you know what I mean? It really was. But also like be a coach and take charge of like, you took charge of like that bikini posing session, and you were like,
strapped her on, put her in her baby carrier.
Yeah, you had her on you, and you were like, let's go. And like, that's a super overwhelming environment for you, for Azalea. But I think me watching you in that moment was just really cool, because I know how much you've wanted to be a mom, but how important coaching also is for you. And I honestly think that you did that beautifully. And I think that that's really inspiring for all of the clients to just be like, she's like an Olympian, but like she's a mom, and like she can do that. And for you to be like, I'm gonna order Chipotle today. What do I want to boom? But then you were like, yeah, I'm gonna just eat this chicken and like it was cool for like other clients who are used to maybe seeing just you on the Olympia stage, but now you in real life, and be like, oh, she's doing these other things too.
Normal ass person doing normal
Yeah.
ass things. Yeah, thank you.
People just want to feel like what they're
Connected.
doing is normal, and they also
Yeah.
want to feel that connection. And so when they see someone that they've looked up to a lot, and like all of our clients look up to all of us, and people on social media look up to us, being that we're coaches, we're leaders, we're
Mhm.
authorities in some way in all of our respective individual ways. And so when people see the reality or in the humanity of you, the Olympian that's also a mom now and also here leading others at the retreat, that's like a sense of comfort and safety. And that's one thing that I've really come to see. Like, I saw it through the retreat. I've seen it in the last like few shows that I've been able to be at for clients, is just like clients feeling safe with us. And not
And the
only
confidence they feel. Like, I've noticed that is such a beautiful thing. I'm so sorry to like cut you off.
No, go ahead.
But like the safety, but like I've just noticed how confident they feel. And like just not even in themselves, but like in the process and how much they trust us. Like, as a coach, obviously that's like super important to all three of us. That's something that we like is just an important value to have. But I just love, even if we can't be there, like you've been able to be at a few shows this year already. Like, every time I've had someone step on stage over the last like year going into this year, because I've had I think 2 to 3 people step on stage, and have a few coming up towards the end of this year. But like the ones that have stepped on stage are so grateful for how confident they felt like throughout the whole process. They weren't stressed out really at all, and it never really felt like they were just like in panic mode, which is like really, really good, because
Really
that means
important.
they feel prepared.
Well, the confidence comes from preparation.
Yeah.
You won't be able to be like some people exude confidence just naturally, and they're always confident because that's how they are. But it's not something that you're just born with, and if you're not, you just never have it. You can also create it by being prepared. And part of that preparation is, you critically thinking as an athlete and deciding what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, doing research. But it also comes from having a coach that actually prepares you, and having a coach that cares and has attention to detail, that is going to give you like a really solid plan and give you really clear expectations on how to execute that plan, what to expect during, after, before. And if you have all of that, then it's like there's nothing to worry about. And so that's where that safety comes in, and that's where the confidence comes in. They both work together really well. And generally the best athlete on stage, or the athlete that's progressing the most in whatever season they're in, it's the calmest, most confident and prepared one.
Yeah. That plus like the community that we have, like one with each of our own like client group chats, but then like with everybody, like whenever someone gets on stage, I always see like the messages in my team group chat that's like, oh, good luck so and so, like happy show day. But I'm like, oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, it is really cool.
And we're gonna have like a team call, like everybody.
Refined vibes.
It's all about the vibes.
Refined Vibes is coming up, and we're gonna do, for any clients listening, we're gonna start doing these every other month, where we have like a full team, all team chat, where it's a Zoom, Google Meet type video call where everyone gets to see each other, talk about things, and there's really no rules, because we can make it into whatever we want to make it into, whether people have questions or want to share wins or anything about the team or about their journeys. That's what it's for. And so like all three of us coaches are going to be there. I'm excited for what this brings, because it's just like, it's something that is such an easy add-on, like value add for us as a team and us as a culture, that I don't think a lot of teams do. Like, or a lot of teams do, and they find like, I have other coaches and leader people that do stuff like this, and it's always like they all speak really highly of doing this kind of thing. Just having, if we can have that much fun at the retreat, we can definitely replicate some of that energy on a call. So I'm excited, because it's just one more thing that kind of builds that culture. And that's the other thing I wanted to talk about with this episode, is just like what culture is and why it's so important for such an individual sport.
Well, and I think there's going to be teams out there that bring different culture aspects. But, one thing that I have seen in my clients, both in like the group chat and more people just like reaching out and asking questions and also just encouraging others. But in this upcoming call, but I've had also just like team Jess calls as well. I try to do them quarterly and I've been really bad at that lately, but it's just like in the hangout time and allowing the clients to just like connect and watching that connection. That's very different than other cultures that I've been in where it's very like education based or that kind of thing. But I find that this kind of culture that I've found that's developing is just this culture of like leaning into that hard, like we've already said, but like overcoming things and getting stronger and mentally stronger, physically stronger. And like I think that especially in bodybuilding, there's a lot of different cultures, I guess you can see through different teams, but also in methods, like methodology and beliefs and values and things like that, depending on coaches or like even athletes or just like what you see on social media. But I've definitely seen that culture being built just like in the quiet times of like unstructured stuff like this phone call. Yeah.
Living and breathing like out through our values. Not only like we all obviously as coaches and as like leaders that refine strength, we have our values. They're on our website. They're like we talk about them and we live them out. Things like making bodybuilding a better place. Things like health first, no matter what. Ethics over money, and leaving people better than we found them.
Yeah.
And so those values, as the way that I see like work, like living through values and success in general, is like if I can just do everything with the values as the backbone of it, then I'll be successful because it means I'm treating people right. It means that I can sleep at night because I have like a healthy conscience and a clear conscience instead of doing things that are maybe only good for me, but really not good for someone else.
It's also sustainable when you do it like that because it comes from a genuine place and it's not something that you have to constantly remember to turn on every day when you're going to work. It's just in you and it complements what you already value as yourself. And that there are just certain things that are universally, for the most part, pretty good to value in general when it comes to just life. Also appreciate the lessons and discipline that we've learned through bodybuilding and have learned how much they apply in everyday life and how much they can just make you a better person, a better you, a better mom, a better employee, a better boss, like whatever it is. It's that discipline that we also learn to lean on in like times of chaos and like not just the discipline, but the routine. And it also, we also understand the value and the importance of like learning how to pivot when things don't always go according to plan and really just finding or defining that balance between structure and discipline, or not structure and discipline, but structure and flexibility, learning to find the balance between giving yourself grace and holding yourself accountable. Like we've mentioned multiple times, leaning into the discomfort and not seeing adversities and obstacles as like, oh, okay, I guess I just stop here, right? It's like, okay, what tools can I gather to learn how to overcome this so that the next time I reach something like this, it's not as much of a setback. And I'm also just stronger and better off because I worked through it instead of trying to work around it or just not trying to work through it or around it at all.
Yeah. Like the reason why culture is so important to just like bodybuilding for sure. And we've talked a lot about like not feeling alone or like feeling like we belong, but just human beings in general. When you think about like basic human needs, it's literally the need or like a sense of belonging is a basic human need. And culture helps shape personal identity and creates this sense of belonging. When you have culture in bodybuilding, it helps just like lean into what bodybuilding can really bring instead of just like this external thing that's kind of weird and nobody really knows a whole lot about. When you have this culture of like belonging and this sense of identity of a bodybuilder, it helps you just thrive in what you are doing to a higher capacity because you have a basic human being like need met.
Yeah. Well, in culture also, I think it's hard for some people, some leaders, some coaches and teams because of kind of like what Daraja said earlier. It's like, it's not that easy to really stick strong to your boundaries a lot, especially when there are easier ways of doing something that might be like cutting a corner, or, you know, a way to make more money, or a way to like get somewhere faster, when it's not meant to happen fast. Just like you're not gonna grow into a pro level physique with like a 4-month off season. Like, you're also not going to become a really strong and with a really strong brand and a really strong team that lasts by just like, here's my values on my website, but like I'm a piece of shit human behind that. You know, and not actually living through those values. Culture is what happens when nobody is looking. It's what you're doing when nobody is looking. And so same thing. And that applies from a general like worldview sense about a company, a team, a whatever, but also just like in your day-to-day life as an athlete. And so going back to the training thing we talked about, at the retreat, everybody was watching. And so people were hyped up and people were like, oh God, people are cheering for me. I got to go hard. I got to like show up. But like, what do you do when you go home? And you're by yourself, and then you're in your Gen Pop big box gym and nobody is really pushing you. You have to push yourself. Or maybe you have to ask someone to push you and teach them how to push you. I have a client here who is in Dallas, and she's been like, she'll tell me about how she will ask someone to spot her, and they like might not know really how to do that because they're just like a Gen Pop. They don't know how to push to intensity. And she like, I really just like tell them how to do it, and I tell them exactly what I need them to do. And like, she's creating culture for herself. And that's what I wanted all of the athletes that went to the retreat to see, is that like, we have the proof, we have the videos and the pictures of everyone working hard, and everyone had that experience having their coach be right there watching them and pushing them. But you have to be able to bring that home and have that culture within yourself of, I am a hard worker. I am someone who pushes myself and who does not back down. I'm someone who pushes my limits. And if we have every single athlete of ours pushing their own culture and pushing themselves to improve that and like evolve as humans, as bodybuilders, as everything, then like that's what creates the big culture of like, we are hard workers. We are like, we have fun with it. We enjoy our lives. We have other things outside of bodybuilding that make up our identity. And that's what's going to make us better in the long run, not only as humans, but also as bodybuilders. The people that think that bodybuilding is the only thing that they have and that that's the only thing they need to put energy into, they might win shows. They might do really well, but only to a certain point.
They're also more likely to burn out. A lot.
They're going to burn out. They're going to be alone. They're going to alienate people around them, and their worlds are going to crumble because they didn't build the culture of who they wanted to be and how they wanted to show up and how they wanted to be able to look back on themselves at the end of the day or at the end of the year and be like, am I proud of who I am and how I showed up today or this year? So that's where what that culture is made up of, is people like that.
And as coaches, like it's such a good feeling. Like as you're talking through that, it is just so cool because I am thinking of examples that I'm already like, I've seen it either in client check-ins and in their growth or it's at the retreat. It just oozes that vibe. And like, it is just such a cool thing because it does, to a certain extent, feel almost effortless because it's just, again, it comes from a very genuine place. Even though obviously it takes a lot of work to create that, it's just cool to like, we're doing that. Like it's happening. And it's such a good feeling to also feel like we have that kind of impact on people and just our environment around us. And like that impact bleeds over into they impact their environment and the people around them, and it just keeps going. And like that is just that's everything.
It's like this positive feedback loop, right? Like I've said before, your vibe attracts your tribe, right? And like Rachel, how you said about your client who's creating her own culture within herself, you know, like you can do that even if you're not a bodybuilder. Like I have clients who are no interest in competing, but I had one client who messaged me that somebody came up to her in the gym and said that they were inspired by watching her just progress through the last year of working with me and getting stronger and just like showing up and how she's changed her body. And then she also just got married, and like her whole family was together like for the week prior to their wedding, and she noticed that her mom was eating a little bit differently and like fueling her body a little bit differently, like eating more protein and that kind of thing. And she asked her mom about it, and her mom said like, oh, I've seen how like you are now eating differently, and just like how your perspective on exercise and like, you know, how you eat and how you fuel your body, then you're feeling good, blah blah blah, that makes me want to do the same.
And it's
And so
not
it's like,
about like restriction. It's not about you
yeah.
can't eat this and you have to eat this. It's I eat this and I choose to eat this way because my body loves it and I feel better. I feel lighter. I like am just generally a healthier person. And when people can see that, they're like, what are they doing? And how can I adopt some of that? It's so cool.
Yeah, it's building the
Yeah.
habits, because if you have the habits to back up your that like naturally lead to a positive result that you want with your
Yes.
goals, then
Yes.
it's not something that has to be difficult. It's something that is just like, it's just what you do. So that's one thing that I've like worked on with some clients who have a lot of self-doubt issues, is that like if they are worried about how they're going to handle the 4th of July, or if they're worried about how they're going to handle this hard season when it comes to food, especially, usually that's what it is. It's like I try to tell them, think about just like your goals and what the version of yourself that has that goal, like that has achieved that goal, what do they do?
Imagine
what do they
the
wake
best
up in the
possible
morning and
outcome.
do?
Yeah.
Exactly. And so if you can just think about acting like that person, because that person is you, then you're going to become that person a lot easier. And it's not going to be as hard. It's not that like I have to become a whole different person.
Right.
It's you just have to see the vision for yourself and start to match the behaviors of who that person is. That's why the shirts at the retreat were refine your vision, because we as coaches have visions for all of our clients that we like see into the future, because we know them so well, or because we've just been doing this a long time. Even with people that we've only worked with for a few weeks, we have the ability to see what they're capable of if they put in the work and if they keep going, because like your personal culture as well as the business culture is like what you consistently do for a long time. And that's what bodybuilding is as well, is like how long can you really sustain what you're doing? You can't sustain something that's like ultra restrictive just for days and years on end. You have to have a little bit of flexibility, but also be able to not stress yourself the fuck out about that consistency and restriction.
Yeah. I think like one of the things that I appreciate a lot when I get a chance to like actually chat with my clients, or like if we have a hosing call, or like they're going through something kind of rough or whatever it is. And obviously now like being a mom, my clients, I think sometimes like this is also why I really appreciate like being able to send videos or like have calls with our clients, but like they almost forget how much we can relate to them and how much we're also just people trying to figure this shit out. And so when I do have a client that's like maybe going through a hard time, or like maybe they're lacking the confidence, like I forget one that like they don't know that about me. I didn't grow up just the most confident person. Like the person that I am on stage is someone that I've learned to become like through bodybuilding, but it wasn't always that way. And it sometimes is still a bit of a process and a journey for me. There's some parts of me that I'm still healing from certain experiences of my life, and I'm not always on all the time. Like I don't wake up today and I'm like, I got this shit. Like I don't go to bed every night and I'm like, that was a fucking great day. Like some days I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, how? And then I don't feel like it. And then there's days I go to bed and I'm like, what the fuck did I even do today? Like, so I think having that bit of vulnerability with our clients too, and like them also being able to see us be just human beings through the retreat, and then also just like through calls or whatever it is like something that I definitely don't take for granted, because I think it helps them realize like they have that potential that they don't really see yet. But like as you work with them week to week and they get to know you, you get to know them, and they start to feel that, and that light comes on and you're like, yes, you are so worthy and deserving of all of that, and you're capable of more than you think you are. And it's not that you're coming from a place of, oh, you're not doing enough, you can do more. It's you're doing what you can. Some days do more, but some days just do what you can, and that's okay too.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like us as coaches, like us three, have built a culture of our own. like just even within us. Like I will never forget, and I'm sure I've talked about it before, when the first time I trained, it was us three, but DJ, you were in prep, so you went scampered off and like did your thing, and I was on like leg extensions with Rachel, and she just like threw
This had to be in
245s
Texas,
on.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she just threw 245s on, and I was like, yo, I can't do that. And you like, the way that Rachel looked at me, she's like, shut up, just start, like go. And I was like, okay. And so
And you did like 12 reps.
yeah.
Crazy.
And I was like, oh, cool. That was great. So whenever I feel like I'm maybe like getting a little in my head in terms of like, oh, I don't know, I can't do that. I'm just like, no.
Moments.
Yeah. Like Rachel told me that I could do it. So I can do it. Watching you have, like DJ, watching you have empathy for yourself as you go through momhood, and like watching you just be like, wow, this is crazy and this is new and I've never experienced this and I'm struggling, but like I'm going to figure it out and it's okay. Like
it's
I'm
like
still
Ron, and he's like, you're gonna suffer, but you're gonna be happy about it.
You're gonna be happy about it. But like watching you have empathy for yourself while you're going through this new hard thing has allowed me to be like, wait, like I can have better empathy for myself while I'm going through hard things for me too. So we have that we have that feedback loop throughout us. And then it's like just translated down into our clients as well. Like I feel like we just live and breathe that in just us as athletes and like humans and friends, which I think is really cool because that just makes us humans as well. But we just
and it's
continue
not as common. It's not as common as you like. Obviously, for us, it's a no-brainer, but like it's not as common, I don't think, as we would like it for it to be, to have that.
It really isn't. And that's something that I've noticed a lot, just like as I've evolved as a business owner now, is like you really find out who around you really wants you to win. Like they truly do.
Yeah.
And you find out like who is willing to listen and who is willing to like be there and not like expect a whole lot out of you, but also like expect a lot from you because they believe in you. Right.
Yeah.
Like it's a weird balance, especially in like women in general tend to be incredibly competitive, even with each other, even with their friends.
Yeah.
And that's
which is
something
crazy
that
to me.
It is very crazy. Yeah. And that's what ends up, I think, making the sport lonely too, is that people, they want to see their friends win, but a lot of times it's like for their own gain.
Yeah.
Or they also secretly are okay if their friend doesn't win, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I think when I first started competing, or like kind of halfway through my competitive career, I definitely had more feelings of like jealousy of other athletes who were my friends, and feelings of like wishing like, why not me? Why couldn't I be at that point? Why couldn't I have this or have that she has? And it just like, I realized through just a lot of soul searching and work on that wasn't going to help me as an athlete, just thinking like that. And it also wasn't going to help me have better friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when you really go all in on just supporting people around you that are good people and that are aligned with you, like you two and like us three, and also just like the other people that we know, like our clients and our friends who are also coaches, because most of our friends are coaches.
And even like the people that you had in the retreat who are not refined strength coaches, but like just friends and people who are in the industry, but just like know good stuff.
Yeah. The people at the top of everything are collaborating. They're not competing. And that's how, if I can do whatever I can to make that more of a normal thing, then I'll do that. Even if it means like if someone goes to my friend Liana for posing because they like her vibe and they like her personality better than like how I cue posing, even though it's included in my coaching, like, hell yeah, go to Liana, right? Go to Clarissa, go wherever you need to go to be your best. And if I think people fear that because they think that they're going to lose something if they tell people to do that, or if they, promote that and whatnot. But at the end of the day, if someone's going to leave you, they're going to leave you. Doesn't matter what you do to try to protect yourself from that. So you might as well just like support the people around you, support your clients doing what they need to do, support your friends who are doing similar things to you, and just however everything falls into place, that's how it falls into place. That's how it's meant to be.
Yeah. Because again, your conscience is clear and you know that you're doing the right thing for you and the people around you.
Exactly. So any thoughts closing about just like how you guys move forward in like how the rest of the year is going? Just like anything when it comes to like what you want to see from your athletes, from yourself, anything? I know it's a really open-ended question.
It's okay.
Like, I don't even know what I'm asking.
Honestly, for me, I think like as Azealia is getting older, and also like the busy season for Keith is going to slow down where he's going to be home a little bit more and not have such long days. That's going to, I think, I anticipate that as being a time for me where I can kind of, obviously I've already started to pick up some momentum, but it's been hard to like really feel grounded in anything because like, honestly, it's just your whole routine, it like doesn't really exist when you have a baby. And so I'm looking forward to leaning on him a little bit more, and also her just being a little bit older and a little bit more independent so that I can like build on what I've already started building as I've come back from obviously this being off of for maternity, but then I've been slowly building and trying to like pace myself essentially because I also know the quality of coaching that I like to provide. And so I never want to feel like I'm chasing something at the sacrifice of the quality of my coaching. So that's kind of something I'm trying to balance also just with like so much of my time and attention being taken from by this tiny person, and also just like being okay with the fact that like no, it's not exactly what I want it to be right now, but it will get there if I just continue to like, that's the vision, I'm going to just continue to work towards that. It doesn't matter if it's tomorrow or 5 months from now, like it's going to happen. And then also I have some clients competing this year, and like more clients competing this year because I've had a couple clients compete already. And I want them to step on stage feeling absolutely freaking amazing and looking amazing and just, I don't know, closing out this year feeling like I'm building back up to what I see myself as a coach and also as an athlete.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
I personally see myself just leveling up as a coach more and putting myself out there as a leader more assertively in the bodybuilding space and in the coaching space. And if I'm being totally like that's a little like outside of my comfort zone because I'm more of a, hey, like I'm like, you know, midline, blah, blah, whatever. Right. And, but that's not how I coach, you know, I'm like, hey, we want to do well. We want to continue to like level up. Let's go.
Yeah.
But I need to, not that I haven't been putting myself there, but I think just being a leader and continuing to want to lead, I need to continue to do that myself.
Give yourself
in my
permission
business.
to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. In my business, in my coaching, going to more shows and just like showing up in the coaching space as an authority figure. And so just like putting myself there and being uncomfortable, but that's just who I am instead of just kind of being too worried about
how people perceive you.
Yeah. How it's perceived, because that's how my clients get to know me as a coach is just in showing up like that and how I coach them. And they're like, wow, I've gotten a lot of really positive feedback because I also just see them doing that and leveling up in their own ways. And so it's now my turn to just continue to do that and like not lead from the front, but lead from the front in my coaching services. Yeah.
You've earned that. You've definitely earned that and you deserve that. And I definitely like just knowing you. And I know that we're pretty similar, I think, sometimes in this like regard, but like you definitely can take up that space. You just need to walk in and claim that. And like we said, lean into that because you walk the walk, right? Like you more than earned your right to like step into that next kind of like evolution of Coach Jess.
So yeah,
you can talk the talk because you're already walking the walk.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited, and I have clients stepping on stage and just, you know, getting to continue to like learn in ways of like not different peaking, but like peaking better and just like providing better service and just continuing to educate myself to be like, all right, how can I do this better? And like moving forward to that.
Yeah, I love that. I'm so proud of both of you. This is like almost not even a podcast. It's just like us talking and like it's a meeting.
It's just therapy.
What about you,
So,
Rachel?
hope everyone is enjoying themselves.
But what about you?
Yeah, I think kind of similar to Jess, what you said, is just like continuing to show up and lead and not be like afraid of taking up that space and being an authority. For me, it's also just like as I take on more that I know that I deserve and that I want to give to others, like to you guys and to athletes and stuff like that. It's like, that means that I also don't want to bring down quality of anything. So I need to be better at like time management and just like find more and more ways to manage that time or to delegate. You know, having an assistant with Lila is just amazing and she does a really good job.
Yes,
like, how can I
Lila, we love you.
Yeah, we love you, Lila.
We love you.
Yeah, I just like adding more in that sense of like higher quality, but also like the natural just things that need to be added in order to like build refined strength into what I want it to be. Now that I've seen what it can do just in the last like 7-8 months of having you guys here, it's clear to me that like we have a lot of potential of just continuing to create a bigger and bigger impact. But we can't keep growing that without just the systems and the time and the reps, and also just like all of us showing up as who we are and just trying to be better. So I'm excited for that.
Yay, dude. And then are all three of us going to the Olympia this year?
I think so. Yes. We will all be at the Olympia. So yeah, that was a recent development. I'm really excited.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, we're going to do it. We will we'll be back for another SQUADcast, maybe another like educational one soon. And but thank everyone for listening and being along for the ride with us.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Yay.
I always love getting a chance to talk to you.
Yay. Bye.
Bye.